Hello everybody and welcome to another Arkham Horror List video. Today we're going to be talking about the most underrated card from each cycle in our opinions, which we always like to say are the correct opinions.
Yes.
So,
Best opinions.
yeah, feel free to sound off down below if you agree or disagree, but we're going to just talk about why we think they are the underrated cards. And why we chose them. So we're going to start with our first one here from the core set, which is Knife. A 1-cost, hand slot, item, weapon, melee. As an action fight, you get +1 fist for this attack. An action, discard Knife, you get +2 fist for this attack. This attack deals +1 damage. A big thing is that, like, the core set, most of the cards are pretty...
They're very well explored.
They're very rated. Yeah, they're very well rated. The other thing, too, is that, like... unironically, I think Knife ain't bad.
Yeah, Knife's like actually paying for 1/4 of 45 automatic.
Yeah.
It's like what it does. Only it does the job a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. And like, it changed a lot for me when I thought of it less as like a traditional weapon, but more like a spell that you kind of just have to like charge up for a bit. You just like
spend 2 actions on it, or like you can play it and hold on to it till you need it.
There was also the time when Lily Chen didn't have Runic Axe, and I played Knife in my level 0 deck, and I was actually like, this is what I was missing in my deck. And then also, of course, like, you know, in Will York, it's really fun, and it's very playable in him, too.
Yeah, it turns out. Cards
solid.
that go to the graveyard don't cost very much. Good in Yorick, who knew?
Yeah. Because, like, if you're a goon, just like, and you're looking for a 30th card, because you have, like, you need one more, just, like, play Knife. It's not terrible, and it'll, like, do the job.
Yeah, it probably gets upgraded out of fairly quickly, but at level 0, your options for fighting enemies in actually any color are somewhat limited.
This option is definitely better than it looks.
Yeah.
This one doesn't suck.
All right, now we're going to dive into the Dunwich Legacy, and we have none other than Teamwork! All right, Teamwork.
Makes the dream work, that's what
Hell
it does.
yeah! We have a 0-cost event, commits for a while. Investigates a location, may give or trade any number of item assets, ally assets, or resources among one another.
Yeah.
Now,
This card was very good for us recently.
yeah.
It turns out there's a lot of investigators who are balanced around the fact that they don't have access to certain cards.
Yeah.
And that doesn't need to be the way it is. You just have to play this otherwise mostly bad card in your deck.
And be willing to like cripple one of your other investigators.
No, you don't even need to be willing to cripple them if they're getting something back, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, you
So,
can
like,
like, you
if,
trade something they're not supposed to have. And then you're
Yeah,
both like,
or alternatively, even just like the other person doesn't use their money for anything, you trade your stuff to them and then take their money.
Yeah, I'm going to even say that I think, like,
Pretty okay.
on its own even, this can just be a way for... as a one-of, for players to just, like, even out resources as needed. You're like, oh, you need some resources? I'm just going to give you them. Like, give those to you. And it also just commits for a while. So it's, like, actually never dead. I don't think the card's, like, great. Like, I'm not even going to go that far. But I think even outside of the things we did with it, which were certainly increased by Carson Sinclair's ability to kind of just... as you said, be his teammates. I was super impressed with the card, even when you guys just traded resources.
when
You were
just
like,
gave me, like 10 resources for my higher education.
yeah, like it's one of those things that like I don't think it's that
like,
hard,
"Whoa."
because there's that card that was spoiled for a set sometime in the future, which was it basically just gave the resources to someone for a turn and then gave them back to the original person.
Yeah.
That's teamwork, but you just don't have to give it back. I think it's kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
You can also like dump a bunch of soak onto somebody if they're in trouble, or actually there are not that many. It's not infinite uses. It's like decidedly finite.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of ways that this card can become very strong.
Yeah, it's still memey, but I think in this video for me, I'm saying that it's less memey than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's definitely
Absolutely.
better than we have portrayed it in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was we decidedly played like a. I don't know if you've seen this yet because it might not be on the channel.
Some episodes are
There
like that.
tomorrow
Some of it
is the
is.
second
Okay.
Fortune and Folly episode of it, where things really start
Well,
going
yeah.
nuts.
So like,
Yeah.
check that one out. Most of what happens there was enabled by teamwork.
yeah.
It's like
A lot of things get enabled by teamwork in that playthrough.
yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of sweet. I think if you're planning on playing a stick to the plan pile, this is not the worst card to be your third card under stick to the plan.
I agree.
You just hang on to it until you find yourself in a situation where you need to do one of the things that it lets you do.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yep.
All
Like,
right.
Take all of your seeker's money.
Hell yeah.
I mean, they have to give it to you.
No.
Yeah.
Not if you're the lead investigator and you're playing two-handed.
I mean, okay.
Because then what?
Yeah,
they're like,
could you imagine?
they're like, I vote we give this
Just
to
Bryn's
me. And
on
they're
over-
like,
Bryn's
I
like-
don't want to give it to you.
it's
And you're
like,
like,
too
breaking
bad.
ties.
And then
don't-
Bryn's like, why did I do
I
that?
don't think that's how that works. But, you know,
No, that's exactly how that works.
At Bryn's table?
it says May. Like, they don't have to.
I do wish they didn't have a choice. You know,
You
it has
you have
peril.
to trade or give me something.
You're like, I can't just give you this guard dog for free.
Yeah, you gotta give me at least $1.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it turns everybody into old Bob Jenkins.
Yeah.
And
There's a profit to be made everywhere.
There
Yeah.
is.
All right, on to Carcosa, and we have field work. This is a
Oh, it's
2-cost
yellow.
talent. It is yellow.
Like
The thing, yeah. As a reaction, after you move to a location, if that location has at least one clue on it, exhaust field work, you get +2 skill value for the next skill test you perform this phase.
Card's like really solid. But including in a lot of decks just as a one of.
Mhm.
I don't think you need to, but like even just a one of, and pretty much every time you move you get an unexpected courage. That's good.
Yeah. Do you know where it's real? It's actually like where I started to be like, wow, this is pretty damn good. It's just in a scavenging deck if you have yellow. Because this basically just, when you move into a location, it paid for your scavenging.
Yeah.
It gave you that value for it.
Yeah, if you're playing Blue Investigator, it pays for like your upgraded Vicious Blows. For
Yeah.
your Green Investigators, it's like your Lucky Cigarette Case or myriad other effects that do that.
Yeah, but like your green investigators, it also means you're playing Monterey Jack, the cheese man.
Or
Or
Trish.
Trish.
Yeah.
Really good for Trish.
yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
everything's really good for Trish, though. There's no such thing as a bad card for Trish.
Yeah.
This
Trish
card,
is
this card is
fine,
also
you know?
sweet as an off-color option if you're playing Ashcan Pete.
Yeah, Ashcan
Because you
Pete,
can
it's
use
like,
the dog to investigate and move, and then this to be like 6.
Yep.
yeah.
6 big number, 4 small number, baby number. You don't need, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Only
say
six.
for sure
Only
this is
6.
probably like a 5-star card in Ashcan Pete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you can also use it like moving into a location and then using Duke to fight at 6, which is
Yeah.
also a whole lot cooler than fighting at 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you also could like play 2 of them, which would also just
Yep.
go to the moon. I mean, like most of that's in like Ashcan Pete. I think in other ones like of one of it's very comfortable.
Yep.
But yeah, just like free unexpected. It's what Bryn and I always say. How many unexpected courages?
Every card is rated by how many unexpected courages come out of it.
And if this,
I bet this one's like 5 or 6.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and
this
if
one's
it
like
gives
probably
you-
one-ish
yeah.
a turn.
yeah, if it gives you
So-
3, that's probably like a rate you're happy with. But this one realistically gives you 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. The unexpected courage theory. All right. Let's go to Forgotten Age, which is reliable. 1 cost, 1 experience, upgrade fast play only during your turn, attached to an item asset you control, or resolving a triggered ability on an attached asset, you get +1 to each of your skills.
It makes you good at anything. As previously
It makes
stated.
you slightly better at
No, it
anything,
makes you
doesn't it?
good at anything.
Sure, whatever. Okay.
It's also like especially good if you're using a lockpicks or something that adds 2 of your number together, because it gives you +1 to all of them, so then it's a
Like a
+2.
Cyclopean Hammer?
Yeah. That's actually the only way that you can make Cyclopean Hammer good.
Yeah, it's
is by
true.
putting reliable on it.
You really need that boost to make
Yeah.
it work.
But as previously stated, all things are judged by the number of unexpected courages that come out of them, and this just gives you a half of 1 every time you can do a thing on an item.
Yeah.
Extremely good with melee assets.
Very
Yes.
easy
Melee
to
weapons.
get 6 or 12 out of this.
Yeah. And it's also like fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it costs 1, it's
Right.
fast. It's,
And like item assets, like you're playing item assets to use them, right? So you're gonna be using
Hopefully.
them, right?
No.
So
No, I use them to put into play and make Travis mad at me.
it's true. Bryn does do that
No,
quite a
it's
Why are
bit.
you using your fingering fin kit? You spent 4 resources on it.
Because I'm
and you
just going to
saw-
draw the red
I don't
token.
want
That's
to.
what he does.
But yeah.
Fingerprint kit's so bad.
Yeah, I also actually was just playing Reliable yesterday. It's great.
Yeah,
Great card.
It's just very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, really boring. But really
Very
good.
boring.
Don't forget, you can only attach this to your item assets, not other people's. I've made that mistake several
That's okay.
times.
You can just give it away with teamwork.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
could attach it to your thing and then give it away.
Here's my reliable lockpicks for you.
Here's my reliable runic axe.
Wow.
What a country.
All right. What's next? Circle Undone? Yes. Circle Undone. We got the Mark 1 grenades. 3 cost, 4 experience, item weapon range, 3 supplies. If it has no supplies, discard it as an action. Spend a supply, fight. You get +2 fists for this attack. If it's successful, instead of its standard damage, it deals 2 damage to each enemy in each other investigated location. Any additional damage is dealt to the attacked enemy.
I like how you just don't tell anybody that you're throwing the grenade, but you duck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody else is just like, oh god.
Mark, why?
Yeah.
Can you use this to kill an avian thrall? Does ranged count?
I think so.
Or is it firearm or spell?
All right, I have to do this without pressing space. So we're just going to type in
I mean, it doesn't matter if there's another enemy in your location.
It's being attacked.
Ranged firearm or spell includes range.
Right
We just
into
never
his
do
right
it.
into his mouth.
Yeah.
Gulp. It's like fighting King Dondago or whatever it is for Dodongo. Thank you.
Yeah, the
Just
one
like
who
smoke.
dislikes smoke. Yep.
Yeah, no, this is great. It's like 4 experience is a lot, and 3 resources ain't nothing. But it's like 3 storm of spirits or like 3 mini dynamite blasts. It doesn't take up a slot, so you can just
that part's
you can just
huge.
drop it whenever you have a spare time. And like you have a turn where all 3 people draw enemies, and you're like, well,
Time.
Start
You better
throwing
duck.
grenades,
You better
yeah.
duck.
Yeah. Supplies are also real easy to buy extra of.
yeah.
Venturer, the emergency cache 3.
Yeah.
Right. And just
And you discard it when it's empty, so you can even use well maintained. Because in the case of grenades, well maintained simply means that you have brought more of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I've these grenades are well maintained. I can use them multiple times. You'd see.
Yeah, right. Like you're just playing Mark Harrigan, and you're like, I can use them multiple times, and they're like, that's not how a grenade works. Cut to him just like beating someone to death with a grenade.
It is. You actually probably could build like a really sick, like soak Tommy deck where you're like your option is just grenades, and you have like taunts. You have like let me handle this. No, sorry, let me handle this. Also, the get behind me.
You just play like the allies and other cards that can take damage to your teammates, and they're like, I drew them, and you're like, don't worry.
Yeah, and you just are like nuking them with grenades. That could be pretty fun. Yeah, card is sick. We've actually I think only have played it like once.
Yep. It was really good what we did.
And yeah, it's still like memorable. So I think like it's a fair underrated card too because we don't even play it as much as we.
Yeah. 4 experience is a little tough.
It is tough.
But
It is a little bit tough, but this is also very, very good at killing swarming enemies.
Yes.
Believe it or not, a jar of gunpowder and shrapnel is good against lots of people.
Who would have thought?
Who figured that?
They're like zoogs. Or
Yeah.
whatever. They're basically
Well, like
rats.
they're people if you disagree with the cats.
Yeah.
I think they're still zoogs.
No, they're still then they're people.
I think they don't have swarming humans yet because it's kind of gets a little bit sus when you're just like just killing just throw a grenade and kill a bunch of acolytes.
You don't worry about it.
Yeah, just don't
It's
think.
just a mob of people.
Yeah, don't think too hard.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of running with these was when we played that we had to play the stealth part of the mission, and Travis is just running around the compound killing people with grenades.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Next one is the Dream Eaters, and we got Joey the Rat Vigil looking out for number 1. And who's number 1? Bob Jenkins.
Everybody knows that.
2 cost, 3 experience, soaks for 3 and 2. He's an ally. He's an ally and a criminal. As a lightning bolt, spend a resource, choose an item asset from your hand and play it. Lightning bolt, discard an item asset from play, gain 2 resources.
Yeah. Yeah, you think he's just like ever looking in his locket with a picture of Bob on one side and a piece of Bob's hair on the other side, and Bob catches him and he's like, "Where did you get that?" And he's like, "Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to."
And then Joey's like, "Can I buy more things at a loss so you forget that I did this?"
I brought another empty gun. He was like, "Yeah, I'll buy it."
Yeah. Joey the Rat, I think, is a very, very, very strong ally. Because like free actions is like always good. Yeah. And this guy's only limited by the resources you have in which to play them and if they're items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How shitty does this guy make skids look?
pretty.
Because, like, he's got to pay 2 for an extra action. This guy just shows up in not anyone's deck. You got to be able to play level 3 green cards. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, how many extra actions you want?
That's why, like, yeah, like in
Like a buck burr. Let's go.
Or an item. If you're skids.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like,
Actually, it might be a neat like skids deck where you try and
you
use Joey the Rat as an engine to like play cheap items to effectively reduce the cost of your ability.
and this is what I was gonna say. I think that would be pretty sick because, like, there's a lot of like things like, you know, people are like, Skids ain't bad now, and he's not. It's his. No matter as good as his card pool gets, his ability is always going to be like just a bit too much, as we can see with Joey the Rat here.
Not enough, but yeah.
But that would be that would be a sick deck, I think.
I think one of the biggest reasons that Joey is like kind of underrated and underplayed is, I mean, partially you have to be playing like a decent number of item assets for it to work.
Yes, definitely.
And there are like definitely green archetypes that, like, Winifred doesn't necessarily want to play lots of items, she wants to play lots of skills. Safina wants to play lots of events. There's like 2 that I can think of off the top of my head right now, but also he competes directly in like many ways with Delilah O'Rourke and Lula Santiago.
Yeah.
Like they all take up the ally slot. They all cost 3 experience to put your decks. When you have that 3 experience, you have to like literally decide whether you want one of them or Joey the Rat. So.
And sure, I guess that's like why the underrated comes in, because I think like he's in the right deck, he's on par if not better. But because the other 2 are just so damn good and also just so damn efficient.
They're also like a lot easier to use, right?
Yes,
like
definitely.
Joey, you have to have a plan with what you're gonna like with what items you want to throw away and what you're gonna do with the resources you get from, which may just be playing more items. But you can roll up with Delilah or Lola and be like, I have +1 to 2 stats.
Yeah, and I'm playing
I'm doing the
Lockfix
job.
and Lucky Cigarette Case 3, so I'm just gonna woo, you know. But like, there's something about seeing a man sell an empty gun to a man and then buy a full gun for a little bit more, and I'm like, wow.
I'm like the same guy.
Yeah. And it's all fast. It's all just lightning bolts.
It doesn't even exhaust. That's kind of wild to me, actually. I feel like he would probably. It's a little bit weird. Doesn't exhaust for the first ability.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the theory is that it is ultimately limited. Like it gets gross and Bob where you have your sure dealings and everything's cheaper. But like most of the time you're limited by the cost of your, like, with the resources in your pool. But anything that's gonna like anything that reduces costs, it's like there's an alarm bell going off that Joey the Rat's like, time for me to get even stronger, baby.
I just enjoy the idea of playing him in Preston, and Preston's like, what if I sold you this family heirloom? And he's like, yeah, that's good, but your dad said I gotta put this in the trust fund.
Yeah. Yeah, I got strict rules from Daddy, Preston.
Yeah.
All right.
After the fiasco.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Innsmouth, and it's my favorite card, Token of Faith. 2-cost accessory slot. As a reaction, after a skill test ends in which 1 or more curse or autofill tokens are revealed, exhaust Token of Faith. Add that many blessed tokens to the Chaos bag. I think this card is really good. I think like it goes beyond good. I think this card is close to great even. I don't think it's great, like realistically, but if anyone is playing any curse cards in your pool, put this in your deck. Even just as a one-of. It's an item. If you're playing Backpack and you're a Survivor, put this in your deck. Who cares? Just play it. It's like so low impact, and you can just get like, you know, how many blessed tokens do I want for this to be good?
So low cost, you mean, not impact?
Yes, thank you.
Impact
low
means
cost.
it doesn't do anything.
Low impact on my resources.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But like,
Low impact on the game too, though. Because like sometimes you'll forget it exists.
did I do that? Have I done that? Like,
Almost certainly.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably when we were
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if anyone is playing any, like, if you're playing with a Seeker and a Rogue, and they're probably playing Faustian Bargain and Deep Knowledge and Promise of Power, if those are in anyone's deck and you're a Survivor, Token of Faith, I think, is ultimately worth it.
Yeah, just pop these in, like, spend your 2 experience on Ancient Covenant, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to
Because
pass
that,
like 2 or 3
like,
tests,
like, 'cause
a
that's
scenario.
like that's where also like, because Ancient Covenant is like dangerously good. It's like one of those things where this then feeds into that, but it just like basically also it does something for your mental, because sometimes you draw an auto fail and you're like, ah, but then you're like, wait a minute, that's a bless token in the future. Or when you watch Bryn draw 3 curse tokens into the autofail, and you're like, holy shit, that's so many bless tokens. Because, like, I don't think you put this in, like, any deck, right? Like, if no one's playing any curse cards, don't play this card. Because going off just the autofail...
just what's in the deck.
Yeah. But, like, if you are Wendy Adams, and you're playing Faustian Bargains... Token of Faith is probably better because you'll probably be doing that more, like, unless you're playing lockpicks. You probably don't want Lucky Cigarette Case. It's an accessory slot that item that I think people should play more, especially if there's a lot of curse tokens at their table.
I can't believe Father Mateo can't play this.
Poor Father Mateo.
Also, there's like a very low, like, even if there aren't people playing, if you are playing like Faustian Bargain or something like that, it wouldn't cost you much to put like some Tempt Fates into your deck.
Yeah,
they
Tempt Fate too.
They just replace themselves. They give you blesses for your Ancient Covenant, and then also the curses, which you can eat up with Token of Faith.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, Travis and Justin are just real high on this card because it's an important piece of their Benny cosplay.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, it is true. But I mean, like, even that, like, in Survivor decks, like, I will put Ancient Covenant into my deck, even if I'm not a blessed deck, just because you can just, like, you're a Survivor, first off, so what are you going to buy? Infighting? No. But number 2, like, if you're just like, just play Tempt Fate. Just play it, and then play Ancient Covenant in a Survivor deck. It's like total, it's just too experienced to just have someone pass like 6 tests without even thinking about it. It's pretty good.
Or one test real good.
One test real
good.
good.
A rat one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, on to Edge of the Earth, and we got Michael Lee. 3/3 soak, 4 cost, 5 experience, commits for a fist, a book, and a wild. Takes up an ally slot. You get +1 book, +1 fist. After you successfully investigate as a reaction, place a resource from the token pool on Michael Lee as evidence to a maximum of 3. As a reaction, when you initiate an attack, exhaust him, spend an evidence, deal +1 damage with this attack.
5 experience is a lot, 4 resources is a lot, and your ally slot, but like, he does all the things you want from your ally slot. Gives you +1 book, +1 punch. You know, in the context of how many unexpected courages in this, every time you make a fist or a book test, it's half of an unexpected courage. And then also, once per turn, he gives you a vicious blow, which is like pretty good.
Yeah. If you're playing Charlie Kane, he's like even more unexpected courages.
Yeah.
So many unexpected courages.
But also you have to exhaust him for that, so like then you can't get the vicious blows out.
Yeah, it's Kate Bonnie. Just like, yeah, get back up, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, he also just like
you still got work to do.
Yeah.
He also like gives you half of his unexpected courage value just by existing too, right? So you don't necessarily need to exhaust him for the symbols.
Yeah. I think a big thing too, as we're slowly, Michael Lee has been getting workshopped a bunch on this channel lately. But I think a big thing about Michael Lee is you would be surprised how much the other half of him is relevant, even if you were not a flex investigator. That's what I'm noticing with him, with all these weird things that have been bubbling up with Michael Lee. But even if you're like if this isn't just for Joe Diamond or Roland Banks.
We got like Roland, who's also got 3 book, and like so does what's his name? Tree Man. Leo Anderson.
We got the synapses connection there, Tree Man. Yeah.
What's his face? Tommy Muldoon also has 3 book.
Yeah, like 3 book is a fairly common thing for blue investigators.
Yep.
If you're playing Mark Harrigan, it doesn't matter what your base numbers are because you're good at everything. You
Yep.
just have to be able to take damage and not get Sophie pissed yet.
Yeah.
Which he also takes 3 hard damage.
Yeah, I mean he's also
It's
like
pretty thick.
nope, never mind. Vincent Lee can't play him, can't heal. Poor Vincent Lee, because he
No,
only
that
goes 0 to
probably
3.
counts as like inverse healing or something.
Yeah, like if you
He can soak in
Yeah.
no,
damage.
if you use extra damage to kill an enemy, that damage isn't doing damage to your teammates.
yeah,
so it's
right.
like
That's
future
that's
healing.
like
probably
future
how that
healing,
works.
yeah.
Yeah,
It is
it's
like
deferred
that.
healing.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like, even just yeah, he's more than just like Joe Diamond and Roland. There's all these homes for it. I think that you could even probably build some he could be your extra damage in even like some weird seeker decks. I think. I honestly believe that he's expensive, too expensive.
Yeah.
I think him and Janae should have been switched for sure. But
I think 3 might be like a little bit less too little for him. Like maybe 4.
Yeah, I think
three's a
Janae
little
should
aggressive.
be a 5-costed ally.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, that I think that's we all can agree on.
Yeah, you could be like 5 resources and like 3 experience maybe, but
But
maybe 2 on soak. I don't know.
that's okay.
He also-
Like
I
his
do
text box
just,
is really strong.
I do enjoy the idea of using him in a yellow deck, and you're like, I've got a plan, and you're hooking up all the wires, and he's like, why not use a gun?
Yeah. He's like,
just like,
but he's like,
you're like, okay.
but he's like, okay, I'll still help you with this, right?
I
'Cause
mean,
that's
his
the
plan's
thing,
terrible.
right? Like it's
Like-
not even an attack that exists with a weapon. It
Yeah.
can be a mind over matter that
Yeah.
you just then like tear to shit with him.
You're like rigging up the doorknob to electrocute and he gets shocked and Michael just pulls out his gun and shoots him.
Or if we've learned anything in this video, you just fill him up with evidence and then teamwork him to someone else, and then they can fight with him.
I mean, he also plays like pretty well as an evidence battery if that's what
Yep.
you want to do.
Definitely.
It's a little unfortunate that Daryl can't play him.
Yeah.
Through the
But-
magic of teamwork, all things are possible.
I mean, you know,
Have we told you about the Church of Teamwork, Travis?
All it'll cost you is all your resources.
Yeah. It's a fair trade for a Michael Lee in your Daryl Simmons deck.
I mean, it might be kind of cool.
Could be kind of cool.
It might be kind of cool.
Oh, it is. It feels really strange that at this point now we only have like Hank Sampson left as like the one that we meme about.
Yeah.
So like, what are we gonna do when we get him? We're just gonna
We gotta-
stop the
no,
channel.
We gotta come up, but we'll come
Wilson
up with new
Richards?
Memes. We'll
Wilson-
come up with new memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Because we're not gonna get all of them.
No.
We're gonna,
We'll
we're
start
gonna
making
get, like,
our
2 or 3
own.
of
We'll
them.
start
Yeah.
playing Call of Cthulhu, and make our own
Oh, and
investigators.
then, and then be like, "Where's Johnny Buttercakes?" All right, let's go to our last one here with Scarlet Keys, which is Makeshift Trap. This is a 1-cost, customizable event. Uses 2 time. If it has no time, discard it. Attach a location. Each non-elite enemy at attached location gets -1 fight, -1 evade. At the end of the round, remove a time from it. I'm going to quickly just also get up the customizable card here because I can do that. But Travis, I'll let you start the conversation for this one.
Okay, so we recorded another video about this card earlier today, and it kind of gassed us up about it, and that's why it's here. But it turns out that it does like a lot of things. Most notably, it can make it so enemies can't move, or non-elite enemies can't leave the location and don't make attacks of opportunity, which has some neat interactions and
Big
implications.
card.
Yeah, that's pretty big, Justin. At least you picked the right one.
I did.
Yeah, so like most of these just kind of let you control the trap itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the net and the explosive device are the actual cool ones. Poisonous might be neat too.
Mm-hmm. I think a big thing for me was
Just
just
that matters at all, but good.
like
The being able to ding something. If there's anything that like cares about when you deal damage to an enemy or something like that.
oh maybe
Like it might be
maybe not yet, but maybe in the future.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like-
it seems really good with the flower. Where
Yeah.
you can be like, you're stuck here with me.
Yeah,
And by
then you-
with me, I mean I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You're
It would
s-
be really good in
You
that
get to
show
stay here.
if he could play it.
Mhm.
It's an event.
oh.
Yeah.
You
What
can't
is
play
it? No, we had that
Yeah.
one video like 5 cool versatile cards for other people.
Yeah, but then
You
you,
can't
can't put
take
any. You
poisons,
can't
though.
put any points into it because it has to remain level
Okay.
0.
There's no teamwork. Can you play an event from somebody's hand? Enough of what I was going to say for that.
Maybe
Was
you
that,
So
like
you
black
could
market
like
it?
you could
oh,
like,
you could black market it. That's really that's
That's a
even
deep
looser
pull,
than
man.
teamwork.
you could like versatile.
You use
You owe me one into
Yeah.
your deck
Yeah.
to be able to play it from the other
you,
person's
Yeah.
hand.
you use so you're playing like Preston just to get the
Okay.
thing. So you use the friends in low places, stack your deck so you can get this on top for the black market. There we go. But for me, a big thing that as we were just, recording a video, which is going to be out on Sunday on the channel about this card, the whole just like remote configuration and simple allows you to dynamite, and like also you'll need improved timer to reduce the cost. But for
explosive device to make it do something.
and for dynamite, yes, that as well. All these things all of that
Low
experience.
cost.
The whole cost of all
Like
that.
9 experience.
But like just like those things, but even then without that too, even just like having like poisonous and just like you can drop them things, put damage on enemies in like the enemy phase when they move in, or as you said, Bryn, on hunter enemies, you throw it in the net before they even have a chance to get into your location.
Yeah, I mean that seems actually kind of good against the mindless dancers at the end of Circle.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Where they're like, I'm impossible to kill, and you're like, that's nice.
Yeah.
I will not be here when you get to move.
Yeah.
Might be fun for like Innsmouth too, because there's lots of
Yeah.
enemies.
Yeah,
chase
and
you.
like freaking In Too Deep, you just
yeah, you
like
just stick it in the street. You're like, bye.
yeah. It is. I think it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I think it's certainly like still kind of like
It's a little memey.
it's a little memey, but
It's not the best thing you could be doing, but
Yeah.
it's good.
on one of our patron game days, there was someone who had a makeshift trap deck that apparently was super sick. If that was you, please share the deck list in the comments because I don't think we actually ever got that deck list. But like, I want to hear about it because I think it'd be cool to see what people do with this card. And you're going to see what we all do with this card
What, you
on
don't
Sunday.
get people to submit their deck lists so that afterwards you can be like, these were the teams and these are the piles they were playing.
I should.
Just like an after action report.
You know, that's you just gave me a whole new video idea. Speaking of, we have one coming up in August. Where's the calendar? August 12th. So if you want to join us for a Blob Epic Game Day, you can join the Patreon down below. Other than that, that's the end of our video. As I said at the beginning, let us know, agree, disagree, add any other cards that you think are underrated. Are you also from the Church of Teamwork? Because if you are, we got a newsletter to send to you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.